In the peaceful overdividal forest of Norway, an adult lynx lived alone in the wild. That morning, as usual, it went to the cold riverbank to find fish for breakfast. The gentle wind blew through the trees, and the cool river water reflected its brown fur. The lynx cautiously walked along the bank, its eyes fixed on the water surface that was sparkling in the sunlight. A large fish suddenly appeared. The lynx quickly dove down and grabbed it with its claws. The fish was too strong, struggling wildly, causing the lynx to slip, and both fell into the river. The lynx did not let go of its prey, trying to hold on with its sharp teeth and claws. But the strong current swept both the fish and the lynx away from the shore. The lynx began to panic, its body spinning around, unable to keep its direction. It tried to swim back to shore, but the current grew stronger and stronger, pulling it further away from its familiar area. The lynx's mouth kept drinking cold water, its throat choked, and it began to moan. It let out a weak cry as if calling for help, its eyes glistening with tears in despair. Near the shore, a couple was sitting fishing in a small boat under the shade of a tree. They suddenly heard a weak cat meowing from the direction of the rushing river. Turning around, they were shocked to see a lynx struggling in the freezing water. The man named Oliver immediately took the oar, pushing the boat towards the animal that was calling for help. The girl named Hannah was a little scared, but did not hesitate to help row the boat faster. When they got closer, they saw that the lynx was exhausted, its ears drooped and its eyes were dull from the cold. Although a little hesitant, Oliver still reached out to pull the lynx out of the water. Its body was soaked, limp like a wet towel, no longer able to resist. Hannah wrapped the lynx in a dry towel, gently wiping its thick, water-laden fur. The lynx only whimpered softly, barely able to move or wiggle. She gently stroked its head, her heart filled with worry and sympathy. Oliver said that it needed to be taken to the vet as soon as possible. They put the lynx in the basket, wrapped their coats around it to keep warm, and left the riverbank. Their small car sped down the forest road, heading towards the nearest town. In the car, Hannah kept checking the lynx's breathing, afraid that it would pass out forever. When they arrived, they carried it into the local veterinary clinic, their faces extremely tense. The vet came out to greet them, hurriedly placed the animal on the examination table, and began to examine it. Oliver held Hannah's hand, both anxiously waiting for news from the vet about the lynx's condition. The vet checked the lynx's heart rate, listened to its breathing, and lifted the lynx's lethargic eyelids. He concluded that the lynx was just exhausted and had drunk a lot of cold river water. If kept warm and given supportive medication, it would recover after a few days of rest. Hannah breathed a sigh of relief, tears welling up in her eyes. The doctor gave the lynx a supportive injection, then handed it over to the couple to care for. Oliver agreed to keep the lynx at home while it fully recovered. They were instructed on how to care for it, feed it, keep it warm, and monitor its reactions. Before leaving, Hannah kissed the lynx on the head as if she had considered it a part of the family. They placed it in a basket, gently carrying it back to their small house between the woods and the grasslands. On the way back, both of them still couldn't believe this strange thing had happened in one morning. At home, they cleaned a warm corner of the room, lined it with soft towels, and let the lynx rest. For the first 2 days, the lynx lay almost still, breathing weakly, its eyes barely open. Hannah gently fed it small pieces of meat, wiping its fur with a warm towel every morning. Oliver sat next to it and told stories, watching it and secretly hoping it would survive. On the 3rd day, the lynx lifted its head to look at the two of them, its eyes brighter. Hannah happily hugged Oliver, shouting that it was recovering. That night, the lynx ate all the meat in the bowl, licking Hannah's hand as if to thank her. On the 5th day, it was able to walk around the room by itself, although it was still weak. Neighbors saw the animal through the window, thinking it was a wild cat, so they curiously asked. When they found out it was a lynx, everyone was surprised and wanted to come see it for themselves. The whole small neighborhood became excited with the strange story of the rescued lynx. The lynx gradually got used to the presence of people, even sleeping near Hannah's feet. Oliver installed a glass door that opened onto the garden so the lynx could see nature while it was recovering. A week later, the vet checked again and confirmed that the lynx was in good health. The couple looked at each other, knowing it was time to say goodbye and let it return to nature. Early that morning, they prepared a large cage, lined it with clean towels and snacks. They drove back to the overdividal forest, to the exact spot where they had found the lynx. Oliver opened the cage door. The lynx hesitated for a moment, then slowly walked out. It turned its head to look back at the two of them as if to silently thank them. Hannah waved, her eyes red. Oliver just silently placed his hand on her shoulder. The lynx gradually disappeared into the dense forest, quietly returning to its wild life. The couple returned home, their hearts filled with indescribable emotions, as if they had just sent a loved one away. In the following days, they often looked out the window, hoping that one day they would see a familiar figure again. Everything returned to normal, peaceful and warm in the small kitchen. But they knew that the encounter had left a mark on them for life. One morning in early summer, while they were having breakfast, they suddenly heard a soft cry in the backyard. Hannah walked back to the door, then was stunned by an unbelievable sight. On the green grass, the rescued lynx was sitting there with 3 small cubs. Oliver opened his mouth, then both rushed out, not daring to believe his eyes. The cubs trotted closer, snuggling into their legs as if they had known each other for a long time. The mother lynx looked up at the two, her eyes calm, her eyes absolutely trusting. Hannah sat down and stroked each one, her heart filled with emotion. Oliver brought out a bowl of food, and the lynxes ate happily. The neighbors came to see, everyone was happy, admiring the miracle. The neighborhood kids chirped Mother Lynx and Father Lynx for the couple. From then on, the lynx family returned to visit the house several times a week. The backyard became a familiar meeting place for a strange friendship between man and beast. Oliver and Hannah never thought that a fishing trip would change their lives. The feelings between them and the lynx were not just about helping, but about a wordless understanding. Every time the lynx returned, their hearts softened in the midst of modern life. From the overdividal forest, a magical story touched the hearts of the entire community. And in that small house, in the following summers, there were always small footprints imprinted on the green grass. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us.